What's up, buddy? Let's see. Oh. Alrighty. Buzzing bad. What? Buzzing bad? What kind of buzzing is it doing? John, are you still in here? Is it buzzing bad? I don't hear any buzzing. I think it's on your end, Anthony. I'm looking at all my... I don't see any issues. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't hear it that bad anymore. Still slight faint buzz. Maybe, let me see. Is that better? Other than that, really no issue. What's up, guy?
Oh.
Okay.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Man, what is the deal? Hey, I saw your little video you and your buddy made about mortgages. I don't know why you don't bring him up here, bro. Y'all can do y'all's thing on here. There's when Benny came up, when Benny was talking about nutrition, bro, there was over 1,000 people in the room for at least 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you never know, dude. I don't, even if it's just one person that reaches out, that's better than nothing. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't my idea, but it's definitely something I could run by him, see if he wants to do it. Usually
all
how
you have
those
to do is
work
just be...
it's like, hey, so we basically have like a Google form where we have a ton of people asking us questions. And so we're just
Yeah.
I'm just gonna basically have a whiteboard behind me and run through. A lot of it's like basic finance, so it's not just mortgages. I mean, because I do mortgages, but there's a lot of like, how do you save your money? How do you budget properly?
Well, all that, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever you call that. Yeah. Well, you just put all that together and call it whatever you want. And when y'all are doing your thing, you can just go live on my platform while you're still doing what you're doing, like simultaneously. You know. So
what have you
no
been
big
doing?
deal. And then you name it, dude. Everything. Making my heifer a successful law enforcement personnel. That's pretty much what I've been focused on for the past like 2 months. She's finally got a chance to go to a lot of schools coming up here pretty quick, so I've been trying to get all her stuff she needs for all her classes. But
what kind of schools is she going to?
Shoot, man, all kind, bro. She's gonna, let's see. So, in law enforcement, you have to know how to talk to like all sorts of people. Like you have to know how to deal with every type of personality. It's not good to find yourself in a conundrum where someone is acting a certain way and you can't figure out why. You need to know why. And so, I picked up a lot of that stuff, doing what I did when I was in the service. But so they have a few classes that help you with that. And one of them is literally called How to People. That's what the class is called. So I looked at who the instructor was and went through like what the class actually teaches. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, you got to go through this class bad. So that's one. There's several. It's a whole week event, man, that pretty much the state of Texas throws for female officers. Like it's catered.
Oh, it's female
to females. Yeah. So it's her chief is like high on that, dude. Like he believes in that, which you should. And so the department pays for them to go to these things, and they're not cheap at all. And I try not to, because they got a lot of like hands-on, like tactical stuff, and I can teach her all that. I don't want to waste any time with that. I said, you need to go to like classroom stuff up there. But those things, the classes get taken up quick. So there was a couple of classes she wasn't able to get into, so she had to take like a hands-on. It's like a kind of like a combat medic / combatives course. It like kind of puts everything together. And another one was a rifle course, which she really don't have to go to that, but there's no other options. She just couldn't get into those other classes. But I want to say there's 6 or 7 classes in a week, and they're like several hours long, each one of them. I think one of them is like 6 hours long, like one class. So
when I was in banking, I had to do that. So where you'd go a whole week I'd be up downtown Dallas. I had to stay up there because, I mean, it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not about to drive my butt to Dallas. I know it's only 45 minutes, but I'm not doing that every single day. And you're leaving at like 7 o'clock, and it's just jam-packed like 4 days of just all this content that you need to know. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, hers seems a whole lot more important than what I was doing. Mine was just checking off some boxes. Hers is like life and death.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you yours was, you probably already understood more than half of it, before you went in there.
Yeah, you're doing it. And it's numbers, and numbers don't lie, people do. So it's like, there's a whole other ball game she's in. Hey, but and because she's... Jesus.
Huh?
You hadn't been talking about Jesus?
When?
I'm here for the word of the Lord, man. Come on. I'm ready to preach.
Yeah. No, I hopped on because I got a few minutes, and I usually don't hop on Saturdays. And so I had a few minutes, so I was going to hop on a little bit and get into something. Yesterday we talked about, let me see, what did we talk about yesterday? We talked about, sowing and reaping and karma. We talked about both of them. And obviously,
how does karma play a role in sowing and reaping? I mean, sowing and reaping. So and that's the reason why I brought it up, is because there's just too many people that are still, you'll hear, and they're Christians. These people call themselves Christians, and they're saying, "Hey, watch out, karma." And finally, I was like, all right, hey, I was like, guys, for real. Put on your steel-toe boots. They don't call me the toe stomper for no reason. If you don't want to hear about what karma is and what it's not, you better not come to this live, because you're not going to like it. And so basically I went through there and told them straight up that karma is witchcraft. Like that ain't got nothing to do with sowing and reaping. Like it's just has nothing to do with it at all. And there was still some believers, I could tell, that were like, well, that's karma. So they hear you talking about sowing and reaping, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's karma. No, no, it's not. And so one of the things I said was, listen, if I go outside on my property out here and I plant a whole row, 20 feet long, a whole row of strawberries, I said, you're telling me that when the fruit comes out, it's going to come out on my neighbor's property and I got to go over there to get it? And they're like, what? And they have no clue. The concept, to some people, it doesn't even make sense. And the problem is they don't understand what sowing and reaping is. See, that's the problem. So because you don't understand what sowing and reaping is, any counterfeit can get you, because you think they're all the same. They're not the same. I said, karma says that if I slap somebody in the back of the head at Walmart, if I move to China, someone's going to slap me in the back of the head. That's what karma says. I said, that don't make any sense. If I slap someone in the back of the head at Walmart, that person is not going to like me. That's it. That's as far as it goes. Now, I am sowing seed in my heart of, contentiousness and anger and hate. And so I'm going to continue to mistreat people because I'm sowing those type of actions in myself. I said, but when I mistreat one person, everybody else is not mad at me because I mistreat. The whole world doesn't get an that guy mistreats people. That's not how it works. That's not true. Every human being, there's a lot of
human being.
faith, dude.
Oh
Like
man,
of all this
yeah,
witchcraft,
it's
and
bad.
seeing, one of the big ones too are like zodiac signs. Like, dude, hold up now.
Oh my.
Why look to the stars for your answers when you can look to the one who created it? Like, that's all I leave it at. But man, yeah, and people don't realize
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, it was something that I could just tell it was time to be talked about. It was something I know for a fact I never talked about on Descaled, and so we went through there. But I mean, we talked about sowing and reaping first. I kind of went over what it really was, what it is, how it works. The Bible makes it so clear. It says, it even says, let me see if I can find. I really don't want to paraphrase it. If I can't find it in the next minute or so, I'll move on from there. But it just talks about it's Jesus. It's Jesus talking, and he says,
Parable of the
he
sower,
talks
or
about. No, he says he's talking about seeing the kingdom, and he says if you don't, I want to say it the way it. I don't want to mess it up.
man,
Talks
I've been
about they
studying the
can't.
Sermon on the Mount, dude.
Oh yeah.
I've been in there for the last month, just hanging
Oh.
out, going through Sermon on the
Oh
Mount. And my
man.
wife and I study. My wife and I've been studying like Ephesians, Colossians, most of the letters that Paul's writing from prison, and we're
Yeah.
just looking in the idea of how can you write so much life from inside a cell. But not only that, like, dude, where is your heart? The author. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
100%.
great.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, all of us have 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't. You have 24 hours in a day, and you choose what you do with those 24 hours. And, if it was about everybody like coming to the Lord in prison, then everybody would have came to the Lord in prison.
Yeah.
I've met people, bro. They get out of prison, they get out of there, and I'm talking to them straight to their face. They're like, "Oh yeah, I was in prison for 15 years." I'm like, "Oh man, did you go to school or did you do anything, bro?" They didn't get a degree. They didn't do nothing. And I'm like, bro, like you could at least learn how to do underwater basket weaving. Something you didn't learn how
Oh,
to do nothing while you were in there. And they're like, nah. And so again, that personality, that attitude, it's prevalent with people who don't even go to prison. There's people that don't even have a job. They're 20 something, 30 years old, never even had a job, dude. So, this whole idea or concept that time has to be taken away from you in order to, such a lie. There's people who never been to prison and they're strong in the word and they studied it and they went through there. The only
it's
difference
just
is they
priorities.
just
That's what it boils
chose
down
to, that's it. They said they just chose to sit down and say to themselves, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this. That's it. It's just a choice. That's all it is. And, there's plenty of people out here. Here's what I was bringing up. I just didn't want to paraphrase it. John 3:3, and Jesus says, unless someone is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. He cannot see it. See? Unless someone is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. This is everything I talk about on Descaled. Those things cannot be seen unless you're born again, period. Can't be seen. Saul of Tarsus didn't see any of that. But then he got born again, and all of a sudden, he starts seeing this stuff. And he talks about it. He doesn't talk about a whole lot of it, but he talks about enough of it, especially when he calls Sarah and Hagar mountains. If you go to the old scriptures, nowhere in there does it say Sarah and Hagar are mountains. It's a spiritual understanding. It's not something that's written out, black letters on a white. You're not Abraham, and it says, and Sarah represents one mountain and Hagar represents the other. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that in there. But that's why Jesus said, unless someone is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. In another place, he says he cannot enter it. You cannot enter it unless you're born again. Well, you get born again here in this world. So if you get born again in this world, then how are you seeing it if you're here? How? How are you entering it if you're here? If you're here in this world, how are you seeing and entering this place? And it's something we talk about all the time. That's all I talk about. I don't see
So
anything else worth talking about because
do you set up a difference of salvation and being born again, like, or do you equate them the same? Like the born again experience for me, the born again experience, it's an experience that you have. That's
okay.
I mean, I guess you could equate it to like a baptism of a Holy Spirit, or if you're trying to put like, it's hard for me to explain it. That's why I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah. So I'll say this. Yeah, I'll say this. I'll say this. There's always going to be someone that claims that they've had a different experience, and it doesn't matter if the claim is true or not. I could care less. Okay. But I'll say this, not everybody's lying, right? So you got sides of the coin. You got some, oh man, when I got born, the heavens opened up. God put me in his hand and we went flying on the golden carpet for 4 hours. Okay, whatever. I really don't care. That's neither there. So everyone's going to be different for whatever reason. But it all comes down to the same root. Are you born again or not? And so if this is born again, then the experience is irrelevant because it's either you got born again or there's people that don't have any of those experiences. They just believe they're saved. Yeah. There ain't no supernatural physical. There's no physical thing.
The fruit is what defines it. The fruit of what your life is doing, it will define if you've had that.
Well, and here's another thing, Yeah, and there's another thing, right? When you start talking about fruit, that's the one thing that everybody has to be real careful about, because if you think fruit is sin or not sin, then something. Let me say this: fruit is not just based on the person's behavior, because it's been saved for a month. We don't. The Bible's telling them to renew their mind. So in the process of them renewing their mind, I don't wait for them to do something that's contrary to the word. And so I could say to them, oh, you'll know them by their fruits. That's not how you use that. That is a lie, is a 100% lie. Now we're going back to works. So the fruits starting off with is, number one, are they making disciples? Jesus made it real clear. Go ye and make disciples. That's what we're supposed to be doing, making disciples. Those are.
Christ said that we were to go and save all the souls in the world and leave them put and not make disciples like that.
Okay, so the Bible, are you saying the Bible's telling us not to make disciples?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you. My bad. Yeah, so
that's the thing is, we'll lead you to the Lord, but we won't disciple you. We won't give you substance. We won't tell you.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the whole point. So if Jesus makes it very clear that these signs shall follow them, what are the signs? They'll open the blind eyes. Listen, I understand that it feels so good to believe that all Jesus is saying is that the 30,000 people that are blind in America, you need to go make them physically see. I know it sounds good, but I promise you this, that is not what he's saying to do. He is not telling you to focus on the carnality of a man. No, 100% no, absolutely not. I know it sounds good. Opening the blind is talking about descaling somebody.
He displays it on
it's talking about a person that cannot see.
Yeah, he's just
yes, 100%. So he's saying. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's exactly what your podcast is about. Christ himself displays what it looks like to have someone that lives years in a particular way, and then he comes in, steps in, and descales, and then they see, and Paul has this, or Saul Tarsus has a born again experience, so to speak, and then he's running and gunning for the kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So telling someone that you'll know them by their fruits, you have to ask, okay, well, what are the fruits? When we go back to the law, you should be, it should be self-explanatory that the law is not the fruit of the person. So when a person goes back to the law, they're missing it. Jesus is not telling you, all right, you'll know them if they sin or not. That's not what he said. You have to understand all the parables and the Bible in its entirety to truly understand what he's saying about you'll know them by their fruits. You'll know. What is it you're going to know? Again, Aaron's rod budded almonds. That's considered a fruit. Not the Western way, bananas, oranges, apples, fruit. It's not just saying that. It's saying to produce life. That's what all almonds is representing from the rod. Though it's not rooted in a physical ground, it's spiritually produced a fruit. But what's the fruit? It's just showing that person's the one that has authority. Okay, so if the person has authority to do what? What does the person have authority to do? The focus is the person has the authority to obey law. That becomes the focus? No. The focus is making disciples. So when people say, well, you do need to act good. Listen, I'm not talking about the little bitty cherries that are on the tree. So obviously the byproduct of who you are, you're going to be able to see some of that. But if you start thinking that the idea is that this person has to be perfect, all you're doing is you're going back to the law. And now instead of looking at people's hearts, you're looking at their countenance, their outer performance on how good or how bad they are. And you're going right back to the lie. And it's the lie. Jesus said, you'll know them. And he shows, he says, people that believe in me, these signs shall follow. Open the blind eyes, open the deaf ears. He goes through the whole process, talking about the lame walking, all this. It's talking about someone that did not have beautiful, not preaching the gospel, but now they do have beautiful feet because they preach the gospel. So now they walk, and they were dumb, and now they speak, meaning they didn't know how to talk about the grace, love, and mercy of God, and now they do. They didn't know how to hear the word, now they do. They couldn't see what the Bible is saying, and now they do. That's what it's saying. And so making a disciple is getting
discipleship.
Do what?
So that only comes from discipleship.
That's right. And discipleship, right. The word, disciple just means a learner. So your job, figuratively not anyone particular, but figuratively your job is to go disciple, which means a learner, meaning someone who can, you're teaching them, showing them how to receive from the Spirit. That's it. That's all you're doing. That's what a disciple is. Once you've shown them how to receive from the Spirit, they're on their own. They don't die. The man and the person, you be able to receive straight from the Spirit, period. That's what making a disciple is. And the problem is a lot of people aren't doing that. Are some people doing it? Yeah, of course. There's not going to just be one or two in the whole world. Of course, there's more people doing it. But just like Jesus said, there's not enough laborers. So the truth is there's not a lot of people doing it. Grabbing someone and saying, in the name of Jesus, Espiritu Santo, and you save them or whatever.
Where my heart's been right now, and I've been walking this out, what you're talking about, and it's great. I love it, because where my heart's been is not only discipling and teaching people how to learn and understand, scripture and whatnot, but teaching them how to teach others to do it, duplicating and repeating over and over and over again. So like, hey, you're with me at this group of men, so to speak. I'll just give you insight of my life. Here's this group of men that I'm discipling right now. Well, now a few of them are starting groups in their own towns. So now they're
that's what you're supposed to do.
That's
and that's what you're supposed to do.
Tell them is, hey, keep it simple, stupid, because it's not that hard. This is what you got to do. And I say this because it's just a bunch of men that I'm just straightforward with them. Don't make it overcomplicated. Teach the Bible, teach, descale, so to speak, and then, rinse and repeat, and make sure the Lord's in it and your opinion ain't in it. Make sure it's working. But hey, buddy, I got to go. I just got to the house after sitting in line at Starbucks for forever, but I love you. I'm glad to hear from you. Man. I'm gonna have to come catch up with you soon.
You need to, man. We miss you over here. Have a good one.
All right, later,
dude. Guys, I just had a little moment to hop on So somebody wants to hop up, chit chat, we can, because pretty soon my heifer gonna come in here mooing at me. Let me see who's in here. Who's in here skedaddling? Net, see ya. Benny, what's up? Jess, I see ya. Kit, what up?
What's up, dude?
Wow, is there a whole bunch of people in here? What's going on there, feller?
Yeah, we just got done with Will's football game.
Oh man, did y'all win 50-0?
Nah, quite the opposite, my friend.
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, hey, you lose some,
Yep.
you win some, and you lose some.
That's right. Got to take it all, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, man. You know what I would do if I was coaching a little league team, bro, and they lost? I'd take them out for pizza anyway. But I tell them, all right, I just want to let y'all know y'all played horribly today, and you are not being. Hey, I'm not kidding. Hey, I'm not kidding. I'd say it in front of everybody. I want to let y'all to know y'all played horribly today. Y'all got your picked, but you still have to eat. So just so you know, you're not being rewarded by food. You have to eat. And if I don't feed you, they're going to call CPS on me and I'm going to jail. So you're lucky I have to feed your butts.
Yeah. Well, I'm only going to feed one mouth, and that's my own. So that's my own.
Yeah.
That's my own kid. I don't know what all the other parents are going to do, but I'm sure they'll probably go out for lunch or something.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm just saying, every once in a while, you can take them out and.
It's not like it was 20, 25 years ago where the coach did take out all the kids, but because it's like when the game's over, it's pretty much all the kids just go with their parents, and it's not like
really?
Close like that. Yeah, it's not like that no more.
Wow. So everybody's not in this together.
I mean, they all they all bring their kids to the game, but then everybody leaves with their parents. They don't go out afterwards, and
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's not like that anymore. Because there's nobody taking charge, bro. There's nobody taking charge. If I was, but then again, not all coaches have time to do that, right? So if you don't have time to do that, well, then that's not fair for someone to tell you have to. So
right.
Let me make myself clear. If you don't have time, that's totally different. But I'm just saying, every once in a while, just tell the coaches, hey, the team is going here to eat. We would love to have you. And it don't matter if 4 people show up.
Right.
But something can't become something if it don't start somewhere. It's got to start somewhere. And cohesion is very important. Some of the guys that I was training up when I went overseas, before we went over there, sometimes they bring their parents, and I'm like, you know that you're 18, right? You're grown. Well, I know, but my parents want to come. I was like, bro, they're gonna talk crap to me. My son better come home alive, and and this and that. And I'm like, man, I said, let me explain something to you. This is not Pee Wee football no more. Your son very well may not come alive. Well, yeah, but if you do your job, I said, no, I wish that was true. I said, that first tour I went, I used to think the same thing. I was mad at myself, mad at everybody because certain people that lost their lives. But you're coming in this the wrong way. You need to tell yourself the truth. He very well may not come back, and if he does, he can come back in 4 boxes. So you're kind of living in la la land. I don't think you realize what he joined and what's about to happen. And it ain't no different with the sport. Cohesion's real. And in order to build cohesion, the team's got to hang out outside of the sport. The team does, so I don't care if it's paintball or I don't know, arm wrestling contest or whatever, there's got to be a cohesion. Once the cohesion is built, then you'll do what Dion did, which is take a team that 99.9% of people are telling you y'all are about to fall in your face. And then guess what? They end up beating one of the top 20 teams that there was no way, based on statistics, there was no way that was going to happen. And so in order to do that, you have to build a cohesion, and the foundation of that is the coach or the leader, whichever you want to call it. And so Dion does what Dion does because he understands how to use faith. You have to know how to use it, and using it is the other half of the battle, man. But but I think but either way, I'm sure y'all had fun,
Yeah.
Did y'all's guys at least make a touchdown?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Let's back up. Okay, did they at least make one pass or one carry further than 1 yard?
Well, yeah.
Okay, then all right. So there's progress.
You're
It's
right.
all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So as long as they know how to do that, But other than that, Unc, what's going on, man?
Blessed. Living that.
He's like, I'm just gonna say,
you know what's
living that
what
blessed
that's
life.
like. Yes,
you know what that's like. You know what that's like. Living that blessed life.
Freddie's like, descaled or Colorado football game, huh?
It's Saturday, and all the college football games are.
Well, all eyes are on Dion right now.
Yeah, you know what I need to do, man? I need to get his schedule. I need to get the Colorado team schedule because I'm about to start watching Dion's games, bro. I already got his jersey en route. You hear me?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Benny, Boomer Sooner, dude. I'm right there with you, bro. I'm a big Adrian Peterson fan, and he came from Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner, dude. Me and my wife, we've been to a couple games in Norman, Oklahoma. So pretty awesome experience to go to a Sooners game, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was with the Sooners too.
Yeah, the Sooners. Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%. So, so yesterday we talked about sowing and reaping. And I went through there, and again, I could talk for I ain't kidding. I could talk about that for 2-3 days straight, nonstop, without or taking a break, dude. Like the difference between sowing and reaping and karma, the difference between them, they are so different. I don't even see how people are even getting them confused with each other. And what that tells me, once again, is you, whoever you are not as familiar with the Bible as you are claiming. You are telling people you are familiar with the Bible. You understand what sowing and reaping is. And then in your next breath, you go, yeah, it's karma. Same thing. Oh, my Lord. No. It is not the same thing. That is straight up witchcraft, dude. It's nothing. I'm telling you, it's so different. But that's why we go over these things and talk, because one day you're going to discipling somebody, and you need to make it clear why they're different, how they're not the same, and then you're going to have to step on some toes and tell them, hey, who told you that they were the same? Where did you get this idea at? Well, because, okay. I don't know where you got it, but it ain't true. It's not the same thing. I don't care how pretty you make it sound. It's not the same thing. So that's what we were talking about yesterday. What is on?
Hi. Just thought I would pop say hello.
Well, pop in and say hello.
Did.
Yes, pop in.
I saw this
pop in
one
and say hello.
This one guy, I did block him, by the way, because he's jumping from live to live, trying to get everyone to believe that salvation is only for the Jews, and so just FYI, I just block him because it just seems like all he wants to do is fight. But anyway, I put my boxing gloves away for the weekend.
Yeah. Nah, I see them coming a mile away, man. I see them coming a mile away. Matter of fact, I can smell their aroma before they even get on the screen. So, and that's the thing, right? Be wise as a serpent. You just understand the games that the serpent plays, and every human can fall to that at any given second. Let me make it real clear. At any given second, I don't care who you are. I don't care. At any given time, any human can commit any crime at any given time. We still live in a fallen world, and you still have to be vigilant on what's going on. You have to be paying attention, and sometimes you can get in your belly into, into our emotions. And it may not be to an extreme, but going into that belly can cause to commit any sin. And before you know it, when you become soberly minded, you will wake up and say, in the world just happened. And it's because you did not allow yourself to stay sober when you knew that this could possibly not be a good there could not be a good outcome here. And that goes with anything. But with that being said, TikTok's no different. TikTok, I've had people tell me a lot, they'll say, try it, man. I'm just waiting. I'm just sit back sometimes and I just listen, just waiting for you to lose it. They're like, how are you so cool the way you are? How do you keep your cool? And I said, well, you ain't been waiting long enough. I said, you will hear me fail. It's going to happen. You're going to hear me fail. Happen, if not, then you're going to have to sit there and say I'm perfect. It's just no way. My flesh has not been perfected. I may have learned a lot, but I'm telling you, at any given time, any one of us can fail. So when someone comes in the live and they start, I'm not going to go through the details, but it don't take me but seconds to realize, oh my Lord, here we go. But you got to understand, I was already prepared and waiting for it. So being wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove is saying nothing more but to understand how Satan likes to start fights and scruffles and how the Spirit doesn't. That's it. And so there's been plenty of times where people have come up and I'm telling you, I can see it a mile away. Their whole purpose is to come up here and start contention of some sort. And it's not even that. It's just, hold on a second.
He may be.
Yo, is anybody talking? I can't hear nothing.
Brother.
I'm gonna drop down and come back. I can't hear nothing.
Oh.
All right, drop down and come back. Drop down and come back.
No.
What is Jessica?
Jessica, are you saying you heard my heifer come in here?
Say,
yeah, she came in here and she was like, Mom. She get mad at me. You can hear just strutting all her weight around. Like,
now I hear the sound.
Yeah.
Who let the heifer loose?
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you. Try to tie her up, boy. She's gonna come out unloosed on me. Yep. Yeah, but, what?
I was trying not to get in my belly today, man. It was tough.
Oh yeah, but see, you're dealing with football and a bunch of kids running around. Then you got parents, and so yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and so here I'll tell you. So this one kid that I've been struggling with to get him to understand the block, right? And he's got just a heck of a lot of talent. Like he's a second grade, 150-pound kid. Like he could have his way with anybody that's on the other side, anybody. And I've told him, I've showed him so many times in practice to block, and sometimes he does it, and it's just that there's an issue with laziness in there, and I'm trying to break him of that. But he 2 plays into today, and he let his guy go both times. Just he literally put his hands on him, and then he went right by him after a second of blocking. And I got up close to him, and I'm like, you need to, like, in my, in your coach voice. And then the ref had the audacity to tell me not to talk to the kid that way. And I'm like, oh, like, that's when I was just like, I was like, belly dancing time. Like, oh my Lord.
Well, and I'm gonna throw this out there, and you already know, dude, because you're doing this, but I'm telling you, just like you said, like, bro, we don't really live in those times, right? Where the whole team goes and eats together, bro. Just like you said that, the one thing I know is true. We can't talk to kids like that anymore. You can't tell a kid what to do anymore, man. You can't.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's just so, like, so let me tell you, let me say this real quick. If the ref is telling you, hey, don't talk to him like that. You know what I would have done? I would have went up to that ref and said, hey, can I ask you a question? How long have you been doing this? If he would have said to me at least a year or two, maybe 3 years, I'd have been like, is that what this has turned into? We can't do that. And dude, if he tells you, no, bro, don't do that. He's telling you based on experience, this is going to cause some issues. That's what he's trying to tell you.
So here's what I told him. I said, you're hurting the kids. I told him, I said, you know, ref, you're hurting the kids. He's been doing it for 30 years. He's already announced it. You know, so, yeah, bro. And I told him, I yelled across at him and I said, dude, you're hurting the kids, bro. And I said, and you're cutting my legs out from underneath me. I said, how about you do your job and maintain the game, and you let me do my job and maintain the kids. And he was just like, he said, you know, then he started getting lippy, and I was just like, okay, then I had to shut up because just nothing good was going to come from it.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you this. Remember, it's kind of like getting a ticket and the person, because they're so ignorant. I'm going to use that word again, because they're so ignorant. They don't understand that the cop is not the judge. So for you to sit there like a fool and start yelling at the cop, only people that do that are complete imbeciles. Yeah. They don't understand that you are not in the courtroom. If you disagree, you got to understand, 90% of the time you're getting at, you can try to talk your way out of the ticket, and you might have a cop, all right, fine, you know, you might have a cop do that. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to cost you more problems than you're asking for. But the truth is this: you get a ticket, you shut your mouth, quit being an imbecile, you take it to court. It's not hard. And then you explain to the judge what happened. That is who you talk to it about, not the cop. I don't know why this is so hard to understand. Now, again, if you want to try to, hold on, let me say this. If you want to dispute a little bit with the cop, then fine, you can try. But as soon as the cop shuts you down, I'm telling you, you'll know it. You'll know when he shuts you down. He's going to say, well, let me finish. Let me finish.
Sorry.
I'm saying all that to say this. It is no different with the referee. If there is something a referee is doing or saying, and you as the coach or whoever else doesn't like it, you don't take it up with the referee. You take it up to the council that's in charge of the refs, the city council or whoever it is, the league, the president of the league. You have a meeting with them and say, hey, what's going on here? What's going on? I'm telling you right now, if this dude's been doing this for 30 years, bro, he's been seeing how the parents defend the kids more than the coaches. He's been seeing it more and more every year. So for him to say, hey, stop doing this, and you say, man, you're hurting the kids. Well, first of all, you're right, but he's the cop, and you need to take it up with the judge, right? So this and first of all, I guarantee you there's a few coaches that are with you, right? But there are a lot of parents now that they don't want no other adult saying nothing to their kid, nothing. So, I'm telling you, there's got to be a league like president, and that is who you go talk to. Now, if the president tells you, if they say, hey, this is how we've been doing it for the past 10 years, you shut up, be a coach. Guess what? You know your place. That's when you're like, oh, so the reason that the ref is saying that is because they've already established some certain rules, and the rules are coaches can't get loud with it. So you just got to play by the rules, man. That's it. Just play by the rules, because all it's going to end up happening is a truth can get you in trouble if you're by yourself. So it is true, but you take your complaints to the judge, man. Go to the president. It's like, hey, come on. All right, why is this guy telling me that I can't tell a kid this? Just ask. And if they say, hey, trust me, you don't want that kind of heat from parents, then that's when you're just like, all right, fine, whatever. Because I'm with you. I think we should be able to be a coach and be a little stern and say, hey, listen, I need you to da-da-da, because it's teaching them life stuff. It's teaching them life. Because sports can teach a kid things about life, about what to do, how not to do, getting used to having people telling you what to do, not because they're a slave, but because that's how the world works, man. Period. The end. People are going to be in charge of you, and you're either going to learn how to take orders and be obedient, or you're going to be a fool and don't want to listen to anybody. But that's on the parent. If the parent's not instilling those things, then all that's going to happen is you're trying to tell the truth, like, hey, dude, You need to, and then so now you got a ref saying, hey man, don't talk to the kids like that. I'm telling you, this is coming from parents. It ain't coming from the refs. It's the parents. They don't want their kids being spanked at school. They don't want someone else correcting their kid, even though their kid needs some serious correction. And so those things are going to run into everything else. That's why you got lazy kids at work. You got kids today don't even want to work. You put a pitchfork in their hand, they'll cry for 10 hours trying to manipulate you to believe they're about to become dead because you put a pitchfork in this hot sun. You want me to work in this hot sun? Oh, man. So what do you think is going to happen on a baseball field, football field? Same concept. No work ethic. You know, I'm out here to have fun. And if the guy in front of me is too big, I'm not going to get hit by him. I'm going to let him go by me. Go ahead. So there is no, how do I develop a skill to get this big dude to stop running over me? The heck with that. Why work hard? That's the attitude of kids right now. Why work hard? Parents don't make me work hard. Why do I need to work hard? So when you know what's funny? All parents claim they teach their kid to work hard. Can you imagine that? And you're like, really? All y'all teach y'all's kids to work hard. That's funny. They don't want to work. What are you talking? You're failing in an area, and you're trying to make everyone. This is what we were talking about yesterday: sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow. If a kid does not understand a good work ethic, it's because it wasn't planted in them. Parents, don't you understand? You're lying. You're lying. Your kid has never developed a good work ethic, but you're lying and telling everyone, yes, they do. They have a great work ethic. No, they don't. That's like taking me to your garden in the back of your house, and I see nothing but briars and thorns. I don't see one fruit, and you're lying to me and saying, look at my apples, look at my bananas, and I'm looking, and I'm like, there ain't no apples and bananas back here. It's a bunch of dead bushes. No, it's not. How dare you tell me? How dare you tell me? People can see. You can lie all you want about your kid being a little John the Baptist, all you want to, but it's evidently clear when their work ethic is not there. They don't want to work. They're lazy. All they want to do is play video games all day. And then you go tell the world how your kid's amazing and you don't have no good work ethic. So but the reason why your kid's amazing is because it's your kid and you love them anyway. You get it? That's why they're amazing. But you put them around anybody else, they're a little brat and they don't listen. They don't want to do nothing. So this is why these things happen on the football field, on the baseball field, where young kids just don't want to do what the coach is telling them. You know why? Because they don't listen to their parents anyway. And so parents, what Big is saying, what Big is saying is, hey man, you're hurting the kids. But the thing is, the argument's not with the ref. The argument's not with the parents, because, again, this comes all the way back down to some principles. Number one, you cannot speak in someone's life unless they allow you to, period. You cannot speak into someone's life unless they allow you to. So if you tell the ref and the ref is like, I don't care. You tell the kid's like, I don't care. And you go to the parent and the parent says, I don't care. Nobody cares. And you can be the only one that cares. That's going to drive yourself nuts. So if the parent don't care, guess what? You don't care. Not your circus. Not your monkey. It's not your, it's not your company of soldiers. It's not your rifle. This is, not your elephant. Not your cow, not your property. Hey man, your trees are dying in the back, man. You need to spray some. It's not your property. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, you're just going to drive yourself. And again, Big, I'm just using your example as something.
You're good.
So not talking
just for the record, try, it got to the point where I was like, I know I wasn't getting anywhere with him, and I, literally like tucked my tail, and that was about it. And I've already had words with the president already, because he came out there, and I just said, hey, I'm just letting you know what happened a little earlier, and I said, this is what's going on. Whatever you do with it, you let me know what you decide. I told him to give me a call later once you talk to both parties and get the idea, and then just let me know how you need things ran, and so yeah. I mean, that's basically how it went.
Babe, you notice even in the leagues, everybody gets a trophy. You have to put everybody play. When I was playing sports and when we were on, if you wasn't good, you rode the bench. You rode the pine. You was on that pine. And
but
and if it was
yeah,
if it was blowouts, or they would give you an opportunity when you were playing a weaker opponent or a weaker team. Then he'll put in the subs. He'll play the starters for 3.5 innings and then sub gradually as the innings progress and switch. Same thing with the football. You have kids. The parents are putting them in there, but but don't put him in a situation that he's gonna get hit. Don't yell because he panics when you yell at him. It's ridiculous how our society has made a bunch of whiners, self-absorbing. They don't want to follow directions. They have the answers for everything, and you see that coaches all around that are having issues with this, with the parents not wanting their kids to be reprimanded in the sports and let them know what's wrong. Just let them be kids. Let them play. They're missing the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, and the thing you're talking about, right, is it really is common sense. Someone should not be rewarded when they're not doing something that's worth rewarding, right? Now, the problem is there's so many parents themselves, they don't understand the concept. And so what they see is the kids are being punished because they didn't win, right? So you got to remember there's two sides to the coin, and it is smart, it is wise to try to understand both sides. Like, why are there so many parents pushing against this idea that the people that did well actually won, those people should be rewarded, and the ones that did not win should not receive a reward? I completely understand the argument. But the problem is there are parents that did not fully growing up understanding that concept. And there are some that did, and they were probably the kid that always got the trophy. And they're like, well, why should that kid suffer? And why should that kid suffer? So the problem is what they're trying to do is just give everybody trophies because they want to feed their belly. They're trying to make them feel happy. So now they don't understand. They're catering to the kids' feelings. And when you do that, when you cater only to the kids' feelings, what do you think is growing? What's growing is they're learning what to worship, their feelings. So now when they're 25, now everything offends them. You know why? Because you've taught them to worship their belly instead of God, which is true. I'm telling you, this is the problem. When you keep a kid focused on what makes them feel good, then that means they're focused on what also makes them feel bad. Rather than, hey, I can hear both of y'all.
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
They said we can hear you. That's beautiful.
Try. Tell them all we hear is.
Oh, what?
What?
What'd you say? She's on the phone?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's that?
My vest.
Why? What do you got that for?
I gotta wash it. It stinks.
Oh. Well.
Is that the professional bowler?
Huh? Yeah, somebody's got a question for you.
McKinley?
Yes.
How you? Did you explain to Trot what the handicap is, and he is the reason they got him on the team?
I guess they can hear me.
Can y'all hear her?
Yeah, we can hear her.
You need to get closer to the mic is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't lean on this.
They can hear me.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess I'm not understanding the question. What do you mean the handicap? What team are we talking about?
The bowling team.
You need to be specific. Team. Yeah.
You got to
ask your question again. You're coming. Hey, you're breaking in and out, Bill. You're breaking in and out, bro.
Yeah, that's me. Hold on. It might be my Bluetooth. Let me shut that off. Okay, how about now?
It's a little better. Go ahead and ask your question. What'd you say?
Yeah. Did you explain to Trot the reason he's on the team is for the handicap, for the pins that you guys get to keep
He's
the
talking about bowling. He's talking about bowling, babe.
bowling?
Bill, you keep talking about. You're not telling her bowling. Like she's off on what you're saying. Bowling. He's talking about bowling.
In your bowling squad,
Yes.
you got Trot on the team because his average keeps you guys handicap high, so you're getting pins
Right.
because of this. Yeah. So
Right.
he
Right. Yeah. That
understands
you
now.
are. Yes, 100%. That's why I got him on my team because I knew that, if I have a bad day and I have a fantastic average compared to him, I knew his handicap will, help us win.
God,
Amen. See, that's a smart
that's
woman.
cold
That's
blooded.
a
Y'all see
smart
that?
woman.
Hey, y'all see that right there?
Listen,
See what
I
I'm trying
like
to tell you?
her
She's no
thinking.
princess, man.
I like her thinking.
So you walk out right about there.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what he does. And then what he does whenever he lets go of the bowling ball, he puts his hands in his pocket like he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm done. I threw the ball. Thanks."
Did you tell him it's not? He's not supposed to throw it.
Hey,
He's supposed to roll it.
Yes,
hey,
and I don't
hey,
know if
can
you
you, oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do us the biggest favor in the world, please. Next time you guys go bowling, please take a video of it and put it on your TikTok. I want to
Oh
see
yeah.
this.
Oh,
Oh my
I
lord, bro.
actually have a video of him bowling, and I will be glad to make a TikTok
Yes,
and make
Did
sure
I
you
make a
see it.
yes.
strike? Did I make a
Right.
strike?
No,
Yay.
no,
Hold on, let me make a strike. Let's take a video of me making a strike.
I don't have all year. I mean, come on now.
I just,
I make a.
I
I
just
make,
wanna, I just want to hear him. I just want to hear him say right about there.
There.
hey, sometimes I get that there right, dude. I'll get a strike.
What's every year?
No,
Yeah.
I get more than one. No, negative.
He
Negative, ma'am.
he makes sure he gets some ice cream whenever he does get that.
That's right. See, guys, I get rewarded when I get a
Ice cream
strike.
float.
So when Trot's like bringing up the rear, you still take him out for pizza and say you played terrible, but I gotta feed you anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct on that.
Where's Steph at?
She's outside talking to herself.
McKinley, when you guys
Stephanie.
when you guys know you already got the game won, do you nudge them and tell them, "Yo, gutter"?
Hey, no, what I tell whenever we actually win, I'm like, you see that right there? I did that. You just showed up. That's all I tell them.
You just showed up for pizza and ice cream.
That's
Exactly.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I enjoy every bit of that bowling alley pizza. I eat all the pepperonis. All of
Absolutely.
it. All of it.
Goodness.
And bowling alley pizza, it's one slice is like 4,500 calories. It's no joke.
Oh my
Grease
goodness.
is just dripping off of it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go wash my vest.
Yeah, you go do that. You go wash it.
Y'all have a great day.
God bless. Always
God
a
bless.
pleasure speaking to you.
Yes, y'all too.
Hey, you got to turn that. No, you got to turn this
I
thing.
know that.
You're going to break my stuff.
Well, it's not like you use it anyway.
What do you mean? They get used.
There you go.
I don't have to. I got my own. I don't use those. Those are for other people, huh? We got to go. All right, we're going to go here in a minute. Anyway, y'all over here plowing my heifer, all the secrets, my bowling secrets and stuff.
So tell us really how good that pizza is.
Well, okay. Now, if you're comparing it to something that you're, really used to, like, Domino's or Pizza Hut or maybe like a craft pie, like they got these places where they like, make your own pizza or whatever. If you compare it to them, well, obviously it's not as good as them, but I will say this. I love cheese. Like, I love it. So that pizza is really as good as the dough, right? That's really what makes the pizza, is how good that crust is, that the dough, right? So I give it, on a scale 1 to 10, I'll give it a 7, but it's an 8 to me because there's a bunch of cheese. They just cover that dough up with all that cheese, man, and pepperoni. So I give it a 8, but it's really a 7 for anybody else because the dough's it's not as good as other doughs. But they do make some mean wings over there, and they fry them. Man, they're delicious. They're probably about 1,000 calories a wing. I'm not even kidding.
Well, we're about ready to go get pizza now. So, Trout, I'm gonna drop off here, and we're taking the kids out for pizza right now. So.
Yeah. All right. Does your kid play football?
Yeah, my boy plays football. Yep.
All right. Well, make sure you tell him that he played horrible, but you got to feed him anyway. What? Oh, he must got a phone call or something. Yeah.
For long, and I missed what was said before. I missed him. I hope he's
what?
Listening.
Huh? What now?
And like I came in right as he was leaving, but I was just saying I missed what y'all were talking about. I haven't seen him probably in like a month or two.
Are you talking about Net? You talking about Ryan?
No, I'm talking about Anthony, who was up on the panel.
Oh, Anthony. I didn't hear a name. I didn't hear who you were talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding when I tell you this. Anthony's one of those like top 20 people where, man, like he is busy, like seriously, like no joke. He enjoys coming into the lives 100%. He's really more busy than you would think. Like, I mean, it is what it is. But when he first started coming up on the lives, he was able to take advantage of it because he's at home, but he does move around a lot. So he's always in his car. And I think he's just kind of learning that he doesn't have the best service in his car. So it's just, and I get it. No big deal, but he's got my phone number. So it's not like, me and him don't talk. He's just not able to pop up on lives a lot. But I already know he's going to come in when he can.
Yeah.
No big deal. Steph. What's up, man? Come over here real quick. Hey, put those things on your ears. Those things right there. Oh, is that your boy right there? Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Trout, that's him.
The mic's down here.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Y'all hear Steph?
God bless. How we doing?
Can you hear everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is Steph. She comes in the live. I don't know. At least once a week for sure. I see her in there.
Yeah.
But she comes over here to clean the house because she is phenomenal. Like, I don't know how to express it any further. Like, I've never had anyone that is so detailed in cleaning and stuff that they do. So if you know anybody in like the Dallas area, and I know not everybody's from different places, you can ask how to contact her on here, and I will definitely send her your way. I'm not even kidding. She's amazing. So I just wanted to bring her over here to say hi in case someone knows someone that's in the Dallas area that needs good work done in their house. But
thanks. That's nice.
But thank you.
I can fly her out to Virginia.
Do what?
I said I'm out in Virginia, so I'll fly
in Virginia.
her out here. Yeah.
I've always wanted to see Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
She said, I'll fly you out to Virginia. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. If let's say that you really did that, you would be trying to fly her out there every couple of months, dude, because she don't miss stuff. Like she's pretty detailed. Like I remember before she came over here the first time, Mackenzie's like, well, I mean, what if this? And I said, trust me, when she's done with the house, you're going to be like, I need her to come over again. I guarantee it. It's like eating good food. You just can't. I'm just
really OCD, so like I take all my OCD out.
Is that what?
Yes.
She's like, I'm really not any good. It's just my OCD kicks in, yes. And I'm like, oh, that little dust mite. How dare it be right here?
Sadly, though, my husband isn't as excited about that part because by the time I get to my house,
yeah, her husband Chad is an amazing dude, man. I love Chad. Chad's always ministering to people. He's awesome. How's Chad doing anyway?
He's doing good. He's him and his
I need to bring Chad over here.
Chandler.
You need to tell Chad to come over here.
Chandler, he's got a really
Who's Chandler?
Chandler is
Chandler Bing?
No, that would be cool.
That'd be way cool.
We're going into Johnson County jail.
Yeah. Yeah. How old is Chandler?
Esther's. Chandler is, I want to say he's about 10 years younger. He's about 7 to 10 years younger.
Oh, is he?
Him and his wife just got married. They're a younger couple. But they're like peas and carrots together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he goes to the same church, and so they.
I need to. Yeah, you need to tell. I think I still have his number.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But you need to tell him. Say, hey, you need to come. Trot's telling you to come to the podcast. Him and Chandler come. All three y'all come. Look, all three y'all come.
He probably would.
Yeah, and then we can discuss stuff. I like Chad. I always like Chad. Yeah. He's got such a good personality. He's always smiling. Like he's one of them guys. Like if you made him mad, like really really mad,
yeah,
it would be like
wouldn't know it.
It would be like straight carnage. And then he'd be like, hey, can I help you up off the ground?
Yes.
Can I help you up off the ground? I really hate that this had to happen. Like that's the kind of guy I could just tell. Like he would just be like, Lee, yep. I kind of hate that. Are you okay? Can I pick you up off the ground? It's like, how did I get here? I think I hit you. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I'm not sure how you got down there, but I might have hit you because you were going off on me. But he's such a good dude, man. I like that dude. Yeah. But I need to bring him over here. I think he'd have fun.
He would.
Yeah.
And he knows the Bible pretty well.
Yeah, he's pretty well versed. He knows the word. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day when you come, Chad can come with you. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be
he
cool.
Can follow me in his car. That way he can leave whenever.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he probably don't want to stay here all day. Yeah. But I think he'd enjoy it. I know everybody that comes up here would have a good time, like just talking and hanging out, chit chatting.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, all right. I guess I better get back.
Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead. I don't think I'm being summoned behind you. I see some hands. I saw some hands like.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Well, bye guys.
Bye bye. Nice to see you. Meeting you.
You too.
Hey, and I'm serious about if you ever want to come to Virginia, I will host. You don't have to clean my house.
I actually have a really good friend of mine that lives in Virginia. I'm not sure what city, but she's been trying to get me out there for 3 years now, just to come, spend a week with her. So that may not be so far out there. So
yeah, and I've known the woman that's talking to you. Her name on TikTok is Kit.
Okay.
And Kit, how long we been hanging out on TikTok now?
And I would say like February, March.
Yeah, it's been almost a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That so long? She's that long, and I'm still here.
Yeah, and you're still here. Oh my Lord! How did that happen? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Hello?
Yeah, she's getting a phone call. Yeah, but I'm not kidding you. I'm not even joking, dude. Do what?
I was just going to say it's been good. I mean, when I didn't even understand Genesis until I started coming in here, and we were you all were finishing up the teaching on Eden. And I just remember sitting there one day and I felt like literally the scales come off my eyes and everything just come alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt, man. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know if y'all heard me say this or not, but like when we started, I started like at a specific spot and just went like, I mean, if you were to say phases, like phase 1 through 5, I'm just throwing that out there. I started at phase 1, went through 5, and we're just kind of now what we're doing, we're just hopping around, just digging up Jesus everywhere in the Old Testament. I mean, there's not enough time left. None of us has enough time left in this world to dig up everything about Jesus in the Old Testament. Can you imagine? You don't even, if you have 50 more years to live, it still wouldn't be enough time for you to dig him up everywhere.
Right.
It will never happen. And it's not because it gets deeper. No. There's no deeper. Once you hit the rock bottom, understanding the nucleus of a verse or a scripture or whatever you want to call it, Jesus is that foundation. That's the deepest you can go. What ends up happening is once you're revealed Christ in multiple areas, all those lead to another, like, I hate to say it, but like another level of understanding. And I give you an example would be Noah when he sent out the dove 3 times. So it's not easy to see, but sending that dove out to a lot of people, they know it has something to do with the Spirit because it's a dove. A lot of people know that it does have something to do with the Spirit. But when you start unearthing Jesus and you see that the tree of life is Jesus, and you see that at Mount Zion, the Spirit, the Comforter was given. If you don't understand that that's Jesus, so when I understand the argument, the Trinity, oneness, trust me, I get it 100%. Okay, but everything has Jesus in it, period, the end. So, you have to be careful with the arguments about oneness, Trinity. You have to be careful because all they do is divide. But here's the thing. Jesus is life, right? Period, the end. Okay, so is the Comforter life? Only a fool would argue that. So if Jesus is life, the Comforter is life, that's what I'm referring to, life. The tree of life obviously was life. The Comforter that was given was life, talking about spiritual life, okay? So when Jesus received the Spirit, it was a prophecy. And to understand the prophecy, you first have to understand that the tree of life is Christ, and you have to understand that the Spirit that was giving the Comforter is Christ because it's life in the form, all right? But there's only 3 times in the Bible where life is presented to a man as a free gift. There's only 3. And it's the tree of life. Adam and Eve didn't receive it. And you have when Jesus received the Spirit in the shape like a dove. And then you have when the Spirit was received. Finally, for the first time, the Spirit was received. Life was taken. The man reached out and he took it. There's only 3. And those are the 3 times that Noah sent out the dove. Those are those 3 times. Do you understand? So first, Jesus has to be understood, has to be revealed. And only then can you see like this next level of prophecy or revelation. Only then. You're not going to understand the 3 times that Noah sends out the dove. You're not going to understand what that means unless the first part is seen, which is the tree of life, Jesus receiving the Spirit, and in the upper room, Mount Zion. So I'm saying all that to say that the nucleus, the truth of the tree of life is it's Christ. And the other 2 that I'm mentioning, it's all pointing to life, which is Christ. That's why he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. There's no other life. He's it. And so if those are not seen, then you're not going to be able to see the other part of that, which is the dove that was sent out 3 times. That's why it says the first time she found no place to rest the sole of her foot, the tree of life, no place to rest, because Adam and Eve didn't take her. The second time, lo and behold, she came back with an olive branch in her mouth. When Jesus received the Spirit did not ascend back to the Father until that prophecy was fulfilled. That's why Jesus ascended back to the Father from the Mount of Olives. That's why. That's why it was in the shape of a dove, so we could understand what Jesus is writing down. And the last time that Noah sent out the dove, it says, and she didn't return. That's because now the dove coming from God's heart, the Spirit was given to man, man accepted it, and it's not going to come back to the ark because it's now here in us. So upon every nucleus, which is Christ, just grows another truth within. So there's not deeper understandings of the tree of life. No. Once you see the tree of life as Christ, that's it. That's the deepest it goes. But a foundational growth occurs on each one of those foundations. It grows. The Bible opens up to you. It just grows more and more on those things. So, and that's what Kit is saying, that there's a moment where you start seeing some of this stuff. And, when Anthony came up here, he only had a short time to hop on, but when he came up, we were just, it was just something that he was saying that he was studying, and I was getting into this a little bit. But John 3:3, it says, Jesus said, "Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God." Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? He cannot see it. In what way? The way I'm explaining it. That's the way.
Yes.
You cannot see it.
Yes.
And there's another verse where he talks about that if you're not born again, that you can't enter. So just notice. So you can't see or enter this place unless you're born again. You cannot see or enter. Where? While we're here. Do you understand? Where do we get born? We don't get born again in heaven. And what I mean by that is, I'm saying if when this is done, the physical part, and everything becomes spiritual like it was before, okay? And I'm talking about a glorified body. That's what I'm referring to. When those things happen, there's no more born again. That's why you're there, because you're now born again. But you becoming born for the second time, it happens here on earth. That's the born again. It happens here. So he says, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of heaven. We can see it here. It doesn't mean when it says you cannot see it, it doesn't mean a man who's not born again is not going to go to heaven. That's not what this is talking about. It's literally talking about seeing. If you are not born again, you cannot see. What does that mean? That means when you're born again, you should be seeing. Why? Because your eyes should be open. Believers in me, these signs shall follow. They shall open the blind eyes. How? How are you opening blind eyes? By descaling people. Mm-hmm. By showing them. You need to show them. So when people say things like, man, every time I go in your live, you're talking about the same thing. Imagine that. Listen to what this person is saying. Every time I go in your live, you talk about the same thing. I wonder why. Why is the same thing being discussed? You know why? Because there's always someone who don't understand. That's why. That's why you'll always hear me talking about Christ in the Old Testament and descaling people. That's the only thing you'll hear from me. That's it. Now, of course.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't feel like, until you can see Jesus in the Old Testament, you can't move forward, right? And that's what I was trying to do, put the cart before the horse. And, I was ignorant, but I mean, when I'm crying, telling my husband about the garden, what that was significant to, he was looking at me like I was crazy, but he began to.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but he began to see it, and I was like, I had such a warped, thought that for some reason, even that verse, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, right? But I saw this big, mean, angry God in the Old Testament, and then in the New Testament, I saw Jesus. But when I came here and I began to be descaled, it just totally transformed my mind. And now, I can go into the Old Testament and know that I will find Jesus, and he hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. And what you're doing is just amazing.
Yeah. And, and let me say this, because I'm getting summoned. Wow. Thank you. I told you not to embarrass me in front of my friends. Stephanie. Both of y'all, man. Y'all ignore them. I'm still cool. Anyway, y'all are wrong, man. Anyway, so and I'll say this before I get pulled by the chain around my neck over here. But I'll say this, there's nothing wrong with talking to people about per se identity, right? Because being descaled, that's the whole point. The whole point of being descaled is because you're being shown your identity. You're being shown how you're supposed to see with your spiritual eyes. You're supposed to understand God with your spiritual ears. Everything about descaled is about identity without using the word identity. When you know how to show someone who they are, you don't have to use the word identity.
Right.
So using the word identity, that does nothing for anybody. But when you descale them and they now know who they are, it's only because you're ministering identity from your heart, not with your physical mouth. There's a difference. So there's a lot of people, that will talk about identity and they'll use the word a million times. And I'm like, bro, show me Christ in the Old Testament. No, we need to talk about it. Bubba, that is their identity. That's why 1 John 4:17 says, as he is, so are we in this world. What is it saying? That you are as he is. That's identity. 1 John 4:17, very important scripture, But guys, obviously, it was amazing coming in here, and I'm going to go before I get in trouble.
All right.
But
thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You asked me, what I was going to do, because I don't go on TikTok Live much, but they asked me, are we going to, do what Trot does? And I was like, no, I'm going to leave Trot to do what he does best, right? But I think also just the identity, you're right, I don't need to use the word identity, but a lot of people are stuck in their mental, like, it's a war on the mind. And so a big part is like,
let me ask you this. When someone says, hey, are we going to do what Trot does? What is that referring to? Do what exactly?
I guess dig up Jesus in the Old Testament. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll say this about that. Okay. First of all, obviously that has to happen with everybody, obviously. Okay. But you have to start somewhere. So basically, if someone was to say, hey, well, you can't start alive and talk about Jesus unless you dig them up in the Old Testament. First of all, I'm going to say that's 100% true. You should be able to find Jesus. But also, here's the thing. You have to start somewhere. There's a lot of people that are afraid to start alive and talk about Jesus because they constantly see themselves as inadequate.
Yes.
But when the truth is, when you see yourself for who you are, you're not inadequate. You are 100% perfect. In the sight of Christ, you are perfect. And if you starting alive, again, start somewhere, is the point. So this idea that everything has to be perfect before you start something, the Bible is so against that. It is not true. It has to start growing from somewhere. And so, you start your live or whatever, and people are hopping up on there. If someone's claiming that they found Jesus in the Old Testament, fine. Tell them, well, then talk about it. Fine. Then talk about it. Then let's go over that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, of course, I hate to use the word vetted, but make sure that they actually did find Christ in the Old Testament. And if they did, then fine. Then talk about it, because it's nothing but edifying. The thing is not to talk about Christ. That's the problem. As long as Christ is being spoken about, and again, it's okay to be repetitive as long as you're being repetitive in different days. Because if you keep saying the same thing the same day over and over, nobody learning nothing.
Yeah.
And so our job is not to be motivational speakers. There's enough motivational speaker. The idea is to keep you happy, but they're feeding the wrong belly. So they'll say things that are just focused on you being happy and guys, we're good, we're saved. And then 5 minutes go by, guys, be happy. Guys, we're good. We're saved. That's not descaling. Descaling is talking about something that is revealing to in the Old Testament. There's nothing wrong going to the New Testament. But what I'm trying to say about the New Testament, be careful, because I'm telling you right now, people love to argue about the New Testament. They love it. You know why? Because everybody is New Testament scholars. Everybody is. Anyway, so if you get on a live, just make sure that it's focused around Christ, because that is our identity. 1 John 4:17, as he is, so are we. And it says in this world. It doesn't say as he is, we will one day when we get to heaven. That's not what it says. As he is, so are we in this world. So if we are as he is in this world, we need to prove it. And you don't prove it by actions. You prove it by digging him up and showing people who they are in the Old Testament. Joshua, his name is Savior. The Christ in you is what Jesus is using to save people. You're it. Now, that's hard to understand. You have this fake humbleness that goes around, where people are like, it ain't you. It's the Christ in you. Listen, I didn't get saved yesterday. Clearly you did, because you're still trying to remind people that it's not us. We're already past that. We already know it's not us. Okay? We already know that. So when you hear someone say that, you just have to show them grace to understand that they don't understand that people already know that. Okay? You show your age spiritually when you say things like that. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Make sure that it's not you. It's the Christ. Oh, my Lord. We already know.
The other day, and I said, well, if that's how you think I'm acting, I can't change your feelings, but
No, you can't change people's feelings, man. And don't even try. Just tell them, please, get out of your feelings. This is not about me or you. This is about Lord. And you tell them, hey, can you just stay and help me edify, or do you want to argue? Why are you here?
Stay in love.
That's all you have to do. That's it. Don't argue. Just say, hey, are you going to stay here and help me edify, or do you want to argue? Basically, if they don't want to help edify, say, hey, just see your way out. Have a good one. I'm here to edify, period. I'm not here to do all that. And then remind them, say, hey, there are Royal Rumbles, about 500 of them on TikTok. Go find one of them, and how long it takes you to get kicked out of the ring, okay? Go find one of them. You'll find one. It's not hard. Go find your Jerry Springer show. Go ahead. It ain't hard. They're right around the corner. But you're not going to come in here and turn this into Jerry.
Two lives over, I'm sure they're arguing about the Trinity and the Godhead. So go.
Yes, yes, go over there. Right. Yes, go over there with the other haughty spirits. We're here to edify. Okay, we're here. Hey, we're here looking for people who are sick. All right, that's who we're looking for. But anyway, guys. Hey, like always, God bless. I didn't plan to come on today. I'm not planning to come on tomorrow. Y'all know it's usually Monday through Friday, but when I have a time to breathe, I try to run in here and hide, and it don't take me long to get called out. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, what's up?
God bless you, Rob. Thank you.
God bless, absolutely. Yeah. So and I didn't know you were doing lives until I hopped on one of your lives the other day. So.
No, it was last night. It was the first time in 2 months. But I tell you what, I'm done with the arguing. I'm done with everything. Yeah. In fact, I had a guy jump up, and he was sweet as can be, but he said, I just want to know your stance on the Trinity. And,
Lord.
I said, sir, I think you should just stick around and just see what's up, but we ain't here to argue. So, and I will tell you, I think he stayed until about 2:00 this morning. And said,
I guarantee it.
Best lives he had ever been on. And I said, it's not me, it's Jesus. And 6.5 hours of live, and not everything was centered around Christ. And that is the way
that's it. It's the carnal mind. The carnal mind, right? The man is like, oh, here comes another false believer. Hey, I want to know your stand. It is Satan that is trying to cause division. It is not that person's soul. It is that flesh that's coming against you, because all it knows how to do is cause contention. And if you're not wise enough to see that, if you're not discipled, right, and you're not shown that that's not how it's done, if someone's not showing you that is not how it's done, then that proves they haven't been discipled. And that's why we're called to make disciples. Anyway, guys, God bless. See y'all in the morning, Monday.